We recently had the pleasure of speaking with Joe Greiboski out of Washington, D.C. Joe, could you tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I've been very proud to be a member of the Board of Advisors of the Arakan Rohingya Union since July of 2013. And also, we've been working very closely with ARU here in Washington, D.C. on advancing Rohingya issues, both with the U.S. government and with the United States Congress.
Joe, it's been a couple of years now since you've been involved with Rohingya affairs. From your perspective, how much improvement have you noticed since your involvement?
I'm very proud to say that we've seen a greater increase in information and knowledge of the situation. The president made reference to the issue at the National Prayer Breakfast. There's been mention of it in the U.S. Congress. We're very proud of our involvement with the passage of the unanimous passage of a resolution in the U.S. House. And so, at the very least, the more number of people that are aware, the more people that are following what's happening, the more people we have to engage to advocate on behalf of the Rohingya.
Now, I know you've been instrumental in helping U.S. House Resolution 418 pass in the House of Representatives. There was another similar resolution on the table in the Senate. Can you update us about the status of that resolution? How does it differ from H.R. 418?
Well, the original bill that was in the Senate unfortunately didn't make it through before the end of the last Congress, and so there's been movement to have the resolution reintroduced in the Senate this time around. The language that was introduced the last time is actually even a little bit stronger than the House language was. The Senate language was much more direct at making sure that the United States government be very direct and very clear with the Burmese government that issues related to citizenship and issues related to property and other areas that are of significant importance to the Rohingya be dealt with by the Burmese government. The Senate was very, very strong in that language.
Mr. Greiboski, Voice of Rohingya Radio is planning to expand its broadcast to include live reports from on the ground, photography of the situation in Myanmar, and important dialogue about the cultural and historical contributions of Burmese Rohingya. What are your thoughts on why it's important for companies and organizations to support Voice of Rohingya Radio in this effort?
VOR is one of the unique voices on behalf of the Rohingya that can, with objectivity and with accuracy, report on the situation on the ground. And we relied on the work of VOR when we were advocating on the Hill, because without that firsthand knowledge, without that objective information, it's impossible to really push the issue the right way. And thankfully, your work has been able to give us the tools necessary to do that.
Thank you for that. Mr. Greiboski, that's all the time I have for you today. Did you want to offer any closing thoughts?
One of the things that I'd just like to add is that we can't let the Rohingya issue become a secondary issue. That we need to make sure that those people who listen to your broadcast understand that they do have a voice, but that voice needs to be continually going. And so whether resolutions exist in the House or Senate or not, it's important for their members of Congress to stay engaged. It's important for their members of Congress to hear about this issue. And so I encourage your listeners just to call their congressional offices or email them and say, there's this terrible situation happening to this community in Burma. What are you doing about it?
Well said. Mr. Greiboski, thank you so much again for coming on the program. Hope to talk to you again soon.
I look forward to it. Thanks so much.
Once again, that was Joe Greiboski, who works on the Board of Advisors for the Arakan Rohingya Union.